special edition of the JANHA show.
The Royal Adventures of Princess Halima, a book written by Anna, Jennifer, and Adam Fai, known as the Fai sisters, alongside their mother, the executive author, Mama Mariam Lucy Fai. On our segment today, we've been so honored to have the beautiful ladies, Anna Fai, Mama Mariam Lucy Fai, and my beautiful Princess Halima, who the book is inspired by. Without further introduction, let's welcome the beautiful Fai ladies on the show today.
Thank you. No, thank you for having us. It's so humbling and it's so amazing to have such a young lady like yourself on the show. And of course, coming up with such a great idea on the children's book. Yeah. What is the inspiration behind coming up with such an amazing book? You know, actually, how it started is when I was pregnant with my daughter, I went to look for princess books. But specifically, I was looking for African princess books, and I couldn't find any. So I decided to call my mom and my sisters, who are very close-knit family, and I was like, guys, why don't we get together and actually write a princess book? So in the process of doing our research, we realized there's really not a lot of African literature, written from our perspective with our voice. So we decided, it's time we change the narrative. So we started with the Princess Halima book, and this was the first book that we did, and it's the Princess Halima and the Kingdom of Afia. Yeah, and it's inspired by my daughter Halima, and my mom was our investor. She continues to be our investor, and she supported the project from the beginning.
Oh yeah, please, Mom, please.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Please.
Yeah, my name is Lucy Fai, original from Tanzania. Of course, I adopted Gambia. It's my new country. My children are all Gambians. So this has been an inspiration, and we will have a book about the Gambia.
Yeah, listen, we are so looking forward to that. Princess Halima alone, in the Kingdom of Afia, it's just incredible. Princess Halima, it's such an honor to have you on the show right now. So if you want to tell our audience, tell us a little bit about yourself, and how do you feel at this age, having your own princess book? Go second thing, control.
It's really, really cool having a book after me, because not very many people have books named after me. It's really just, I'm so honored to be representing Africa in general, and African girls.
You are so so intellectual.
Thank you.
And by the way, I love your art too.
Thank
so
you.
tell me, Anna, tell us a little bit about yourself too.
Well, I was married to Halima's dad when I was 22, so I got married very young. So I had my daughter at like 25, and I was going through doing my master's program, so I was very much into empowering my daughter, especially having an African child in the diaspora. Sometimes you want to make sure that you stay grounded so they know who they are. You don't want them to be integrated into whatever country you're in when you're out of your own country of origin, to the point where they forget themselves. So it was very important for me to make sure that I teach her about being an African girl and being proud of that. When you go to class, you're not going to look like everybody else. You're a little bit more darker skinned, your lips are fuller, your eyes a little bit bigger, and you're skinny and lanky, but I wanted her to be confident and have high self-esteem and see that as beautiful. So I think it's important in writing the book that not only that Halima and other African girls in the diaspora get to see images of themselves in the book, but also see names that resonate with them. Exactly, so we use characters like, King Omar.
I love the name.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with them.
Queen Mariam.
I said, what? I'm going to get this book and I'm going to read it with my son. So I'm trying not to cheat on him by reading it alone. Yeah. So what I do is I go online and snip of it, I'm like, oh my god, I just want to read it in the hand so we can, digest the story together.
Yeah.
It's so amazing, the characters, and tell us a little bit about the characters, how you came about with Princess Halima, and of course, her beautiful outfit. I gotta tell you, it's very catchy. And the headscarf and the hair.
Thank you.
You can see she has a lot of hair.
I can tell.
Yes.
So that inspired the
hairstyle.
And
I
we have,
usually walk around with an afro, so
So today exactly just put it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
and we have a fantastic illustrator.
Yes.
He's based in Rwanda, Kigali. And that's where we live for quite a number of years. So we just send him pictures and we say, okay, we want something like this. And then he just come up with all these beautiful colors and we say we want it very African.
Yeah.
Very African.
It's
That's
beautiful,
what-
because when you look at the princess and you look at the character, you see a lot of different features.
Absolutely.
You see the long face, you see the high cheekbone,
Yes.
and you see the long nose.
Yes.
And looking at her, and she's just so beautiful. And by looking at the picture, you actually know how diverse and how multicultural we are.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. And talk to me about the other characters. I want to know about the prince.
Okay, Prince Sakai.
And why it's so important to have Prince Sakai, on there.
Yes, we wanted to have not only an African princess, but an African princess that's not getting married. And because
That too.
because Cinderella, at the end of all of these fairy tales, Cinderella, Snow White, they all get married at the end. We're like, no, Princess Halima doesn't need to get married, and she doesn't need to get, saved by the prince. We want her to be strong and brave and adventurous and independent. Exactly. So, we introduced Prince Sakai, and most of our characters, we actually didn't look far. We looked very internal. My one of the authors is my sister, because it's written by myself and two of my other sisters,
Right.
and Jay and Yadam. And my sister Yadam, one of her best friends, son is named Sakai, and we just love the name, so we decided why not use that for the character. And for example, for the queen, we use my mom, Queen Mariam.
And the king is your dad.
Yes, and the king is my dad, King Omar.
Oh, King Omar.
Yes, and of course the best part is when we were thinking about the creation of the character of the jaguar, because we have a jaguar that turns half human and half jaguar at night in the story.
In the story.
So we're like, who can we think of to be a villain? And we were like, why not our two brothers? They give us such a hard time growing up. So one of my brothers' names is Tijan, and the other one is Baimodu. So we merged the two names, and the character's name is Jantibai.
It's amazing. You guys are so creative. What was your part? What part did you play in writing Princess Halima?
Actually, the first book was mostly written by JANHA. She's the youngest of us, the youngest of 6, but also the youngest of the sisters.
Yeah, very my sister.
Yes. So she's very creative. She's very long-winded. And when we decided we're gonna write the book, I remember we jumped on my mom's bed at home, and we were there the whole entire weekend, and we just did a brain dump, like all our ideas. We put it on a piece of paper, and she was typing away, and she was inspired by ideas we were coming up with. Then after we finished the first story, after the first year, we decided, there's also a lot of misconceptions about Africa. A lot of people don't realize that it's a continent, not a country, but when you watch movies like The Lion King, which was one of Disney's, most successful cartoon movies, it says it's set in Africa. It doesn't specify which country. So we were like, you know what? Let's take Princess Halima on a journey to each and every African country. Yes. And then we get to, educate the reader about the country, the language, the culture, the traditions. So that's when we decided to do the second book, which is Princess Halima Exploring the Wilderness of Tanzania. Of course, we had to go to Tanzania first, because my mom's from Tanzania.
And they visited Tanzania,
Oh,
they
yes.
love Tanzania, so you
Yeah.
justify.
I've lived in a lot of African countries.
Yes.
I've lived in Tanzania, I've lived in Rwanda, I've lived in Ethiopia, I've lived in so many places I can't even remember.
So this is actually your life, your life.
Yeah.
So through all the African countries that you've lived in, you actually did a story.
Yes.
So that.
Yeah.
Talk about experience. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 10.
10 years old. Wow. 10 years old.
Yeah.
But we are very diverse family.
Yes.
I'll say their dad is from Gambia. I'm from Tanzania, and your husband is from Rwanda. And we keep on traveling. I travel a lot. I travel a lot, and so most of the time whenever I travel, I try to bring them all to visit or live with me wherever I am. That's right. So that's how we live in Ethiopia, we live in Tanzania, and
You are a true queen.
She is. She's the queen. She's the queen, and she's.
Wherever she goes, everybody else just goes.
Yes.
So tell me the character of the queen. Queen Mariam.
Well, in this one, the first book.
It's like I want to know so bad. I'm curious at the same time, and I'm like, should I really ask you guys, or should I just?
Queen Mariam is a nice, elegant, calm, just motherly.
Just like you.
Just like her.
Wow, so she's like a giver.
Yes.
Just share the love.
Yes, and full of wisdom and always giving advice. So, and again, we didn't have to look far. We just looked to my mom for the inspiration for that character, and it just worked out. And we've been, getting a lot of good reviews from both books. And since we just did the book signing at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Oh, that was such an amazing experience.
When I looked at the picture, I had goosebumps.
Really?
Just coming from the Gambia myself, just knowing that you're from the Gambia, born and raised, right?
Yeah.
In the Gambia. Yeah. And seeing you at Barnes and Noble signing a book, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing because, it started as an idea, and now to see it, evolve to where it is, and we have such big dreams for where it can go. It's just like, it makes us feel encouraged to keep pushing and to keep going. And we actually just finished the Gambia story, which is going to be launched in Gambia.
Oh,
we just brought a flyer.
The next one, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be the third book from the series.
Oh, the book that you remember in Gambia.
And we also be going to Gambia.
Yes, we'll be in Gambia this December to launch the book.
To launch the book.
Yeah. It is, and we feel so supported by the Gambian community. I know I reached out, actually did an interview, a Facebook Live interview with Fatima Takoka. Yes, she's amazing. Yeah, so, and then we have a lot of help from one of my really good friends, Martin Monday, who's very much connected in the Gambian community, and he was able to direct me to who to talk to, and that's how we linked up actually.
You can see that too.
Yeah.
We linked up like 6 months ago.
That's right. That's
right.
right. With Jay.
We did.
Yeah, I actually looked you up, and I was like, this is amazing. Like a young Gambian girl who has her own show, to talk about the events and the projects that we're doing. I was like, we need people like
tell
you.
our story.
Absolutely, that's
Take
right.
a regular job.
That's
and,
right.
And
have
live a normal
children.
life.
Yeah.
Of course, that's it.
Yeah, but we're changing that, and it starts with people like you.
And people like
And the little boy running around is my son. Come here, come introduce yourself.
King Omar.
Yeah, he's named after my dad, so he really believes the character King Omar is him.
Because everybody's in the book.
And he's also my crush.
Yes.
Goodness, Anna, this is such a great book. The idea behind it is so humbling. It's just so great. Talk to me about the experience. That you and your sisters are working so closely with your mother, and you guys are coming up with such a masterpiece together.
Thank you.
How is that experience like?
Well, we've always been really close.
Yes.
My mom didn't raise us, the typical African upbringing. Like, she made us her friend. And we've been able to maintain that throughout our lives. I remember growing up as little kids, she would travel a lot. And she would come back. I remember when it was MC Hammer time. And she went to the US and she came back and she was teaching us how to do the hammer dance, And it's like, all the kids in the neighborhood.
Michael Jackson time.
Yes. So all the kids in the neighborhood. She used to. They would come to our house because we had the fun mom.
Yeah.
We had the cool mom, and it's really just
was
been
it
like that.
Anna, I told you, come home this time, stay here on time, now you're grounded.
She was very strict because it was 6 of us. But at the same time, she was able to balance being strict, but at the same time, being really close and making us feel like we could approach her with anything. And she's always just been super supportive of us.
And then
Yeah,
also
but-
that did rub off from baby to my mom, because me and my mom were like so close. Like all the time when Omar goes to bed, me and her would just hang out and we talk, and it's just
How
really
does it make
cool.
you feel?
And we also hang out a lot. me and
Yeah.
Halima.
Yes.
Hang out.
Yeah, like all
We
the
have
time.
On time.
Yeah. And then Omar gets out of bed and sneaks into Bibi's room with us, and we always hang out.
Bibi means,
always
Bibi means grandma.
In Swahili.
Grandma.
I'm telling you, the godmother looks like their auntie, not
That's
even a mother.
right. That's right.
You know, and the secret about beauty. What do you do to stay this gorgeous?
Just be happy. Don't worry too much. And
But what is happiness though?
happiness is don't worry. Don't worry. What you can do, you do. What you cannot do, you say inshallah. Allah is great, and you know you
So
try
don't
your
worry
best.
about stuff you don't have control over.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord of mercy, that's my life.
Exactly. And just accept it. Things can go wrong. It's okay. They can go wrong, but you try to manage them. Try to manage them. If you can't, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. My mom was very calm. She is extremely calm. I mean, sometimes we used to get irritated at her. We would be sitting together and she won't say anything. If you ask her, she will respond. But she will not just chit chat for the sake of chit chat. Yeah, so she was like, no, but because you observe and observe. And then if it's necessary, then you can provide your advice.
But it's just so humbling, coming from someone like yourself, very educated, very well-rounded, very well-traveled, and she can be an average grandma, girl.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She is, the typical grandma that will instill more in this beautiful Halima. So tell me, Anna, the experience. What is the hardest thing about working with your mother and your sisters? And my beautiful Halima?
I think the hardest part is probably for her because we can be a lot bossy with her.
Yes.
Aww.
Yes.
Especially my sister, Yadam and I.
We call them the West Africans.
Yes.
And the elder sister Yafatu and Jay, those are my East Africans.
Yes, they're very
calm,
mild,
very
mannered.
mild. Even if you annoy us, we will smile and then tell you, I didn't like that. But this one's
So tell me, I know this one. So Mama, because you travel all over the world, so there's a difference between East Africans and West Africans?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. West Africans were more spicy. We're very outgoing. We're very honest. Sometimes brutally honest.
bold.
Yes, we're very bold. And the East African is typically very calm and reserved, and they're introverts, and they're not so direct. Like the East African won't tell you right away that they don't
Don't
like
say
something.
yes or no, they'll say maybe.
Maybe, yes.
Wow.
Right.
It's amazing. It's like I'm learning something new.
Yes.
It's just, oh my God. Because I always have that problem about saying calm. I'm like, I just can't.
That's West African in you.
Yes.
So
So, like,
sometimes
that's the
don't bring your
dominant
West African in me. Calm down. Wusa. Let's go to East Africa. Wusa.
So now the trick is, you want to get wild, you're like, okay, let me go back to East Africa. She's too West African. That's amazing though. This is something extremely new I've learned today.
Yes.
So it's sort of like, like, it's not like they wait till it's just like you and them. It's like, even if you're there in front of the whole world, they're like, I did not like you when you did that. Like, but
So they just put you on the spot.
Yeah.
yeah, right there.
Wait,
Right
like
there.
country I'm from.
But East African is just a private conversation. You and them, like, I didn't like you when you did that or something like that. But
So which one do you consider yourself? East or West?
I think of myself as a West.
You are the
Yeah.
girl. Hey, girl. Yes.
So her dad is Guinean,
Yeah.
from Guinea Conakry.
Okay.
So, she's more West African than East
Yeah.
African. Yeah, and mom is
She has a
Gambian.
little
Tanzanian.
Tanzanian.
Yeah.
Depending on what the mood.
It's sort of like, it's the mood. My friends say I'm
love
very
that.
feisty.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm the feistiest out of the whole, like, friend group. But sometimes when I'm calm and I'm not, like, tired or anything, I'm...
But think about it though, you're very creative too.
Yeah.
Tell me your contribution and then Princess Halima, the adventure.
So
You know, your adventure.
Yes.
so I am the inspiration for the book, and also when we have like events, like I sign autographs, and I also speak at like speaking events and things. I also sometimes help with writing the book.
Oh, hold on. You mentioned something about inspiration behind.
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about the inspiration.
yeah.
10-year-old. You're only 10 years old. Wow.
So it's sort of like my mom and my two aunts, like they all wrote the book, but like who are they gonna base it on? And then my mom's like, I came up with the idea because of my daughter, so why don't we make it about my daughter? And that's
And you're the
how,
oldest too.
Yeah.
All your cousins.
yeah, like they're all gonna be in one of the books.
Eventually, as you
Yes.
know.
Yeah, but I'm like in every single book because it's the Princess Halima series. And also, like my mom came up with the idea so I could have something to read and like I know like about my culture, and so also other people can learn about their culture.
Share.
Yeah, so it could like just share throughout, because African girls in America, like if their parents don't show them like they're from like I don't know Guinea or Gambia or Tanzania, they're not gonna know that. And then when they actually find out that they're from this place, they're gonna be like, I don't know anything about this. I didn't know that. My parents never told me, and they're not gonna know anything when they go visit. So it's like
So are you in your classroom telling them you're African, what part of Africa you from? You do that?
Yeah.
Girl,
My
you
whole-
are too West
like
African. Yes.
my whole
So if they tell you I'm from Guinea, what is the other next question you ask them?
Huh?
What is the next question you ask them? If they say, oh, I'm from Guinea.
It's like I mean like
Do you
I tell
ask them if they want to know about Guinea, or if they've been to Guinea?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, have you ever been? They're like, no, I haven't been. I'm like, oh, I haven't been either. Like, we can connect, because
But you have a story to tell them
Yeah.
about Guinea.
yeah.
Halima.
And like Tanzania, she's been to Tanzania
And lived there.
and lived there. So the book you're holding,
Yeah.
The adventures of Princess Halima, because we have the Mount Kilimanjaro, and so she climbs Mount Kilimanjaro with the
It's
cousins.
like, I'm getting
there.
goosebumps.
Yeah, and then visit the animal park, Serengeti National Park. So at least we are putting all these things in perspective, that you have national parks in Africa.
That's right.
It's not that animals are running around widely.
That's
They have
right.
National parks and
That's
the
right.
highest mountain
So
in
Halima,
Africa
tell
is
me,
in
what was
Kenya.
one thing about living in Tanzania that you loved? Every time you think about Tanzania, you're like, Mom, this is why I love Tanzania.
The heat. What? I'm serious. Sometimes it gets so cold here. I feel like my fingers are gonna fall off. There, it's always hot. You can always wear shorts. You can always wear a short sleeve. But here, it's like you have to change your drawers every season.
Yeah.
It's spring, so you need to have tights and short sleeves. Summer, you need shorts or skirts. But in the winter, you need jeans and long sleeves and jackets, and
In
it's just.
Tanzania,
In Tanzania, you can wear shorts and skirts
hot.
all day. It's like you can go to the pool whenever, because the pools are never closed.
She's from West
always
Africa.
open.
I don't care what anybody says. This is the West African girl.
typical.
Wow, I'm obsessed
So
with
you
her
can imagine,
intelligence.
we are now discussing, about the books,
Books, yeah.
and then I have all these West Africans in front
Mama,
of me.
tell me about them.
And then they're telling me, then they will say, okay, what do you say? And I'll give them my opinion. Then they go like, we don't agree.
Who is the first person that disagrees?
Yeah, and she goes,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm your mom. And she's like, don't go to your feelings. Don't go to your feelings. We're just discussing. So then I go, I sigh, and I'm like,
You gotta go back to
okay,
East Africa.
I think I need to go to West Africa. I need to be West African too. So I'm like, okay, let's go.
I love it.
Because they kind of drew me out of my
Your East
East African
Africanness.
comfort zone, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so tell me, which of them are the easiest that you think when you have an idea, you just run to the person and then will give it like an extra energy? Like, that's a good idea. Which of them?
Jay. Yeah.
So yeah, that is the.
Yeah, Adam, cook it first and then throw it to Yada because then she'll tear it into pieces and then she'll try and put it back together, but better.
You're right.
She's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure to put it high.
Yeah.
So how about Anna? You seem like you.
She's in the middle.
Yeah, she's in the middle. She's next to Adam. So imagine if I'm we are the four of us. So the two of them. So I always look at Jay. Jay, do you agree? Jay says, I hear you. I hear you. But sometimes she doesn't agree. Doesn't mean she agrees. She's just the, she's like, I hear you. And then these two will go like, no, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, they are too much.
Yes, we're very outspoken.
But I love it. I love it. I love West Africa.
Auntie Jay is sort of like the Gandhi. Like she always just makes peace and then she tells you her opinion. So everybody's calm by the time she says her opinion. She's like, all right, everybody, Musa. And then she's like, okay, so I think. So it's like I think that whatever she says.
Yeah.
But like everybody's calm by the time she shares her opinion. And Tiam has turned off her West African just a smidge, so she can at least breathe. Mommy is calm. Mommy is calm. Mommy is calmer. And Bibi is back to her East African. And then Auntie Jay says her idea, and I'm just sitting there like.
Oh my god. So do you sometimes feel like you are like the judge? Do you sometimes tell them, Mom, Auntie Jay?
Well, she got shy. She says, "Can I speak?"
Yes.
Oh, you actually can speak.
Oh yeah. Can I speak?
So you just
so then we all
turn
turn and say, "Okay," and then we're like, because the important thing is also to look at things from her point of view, because our audience is her age. So she kind of put us back on check.
Yeah.
When we run away with an idea, then she says, "Okay, can I speak?"
Yeah.
So if you say this, I don't think children at this age will understand or would like to do something like that. Like the trip, the adventure in Tanzania. So what do they do on the adventure, on the way of climbing trees? Okay, because we were just like getting into getting the buggy, whatever is being drawn by the camel, and then just go to the national park. But they had to stop. She said, no, it has to be more than that. So you have to stop, climb trees, and have fun, and then look at the animals.
We're not trying to give you guys everything because you have to get the book.
That's right.
Because all this juice right now is like I'm holding on to it because I have to read the book.
That's right.
But it's just such an inspirational book, and the way you all work together, there's no way this will. The projection of Princess Halima 5 years from now. Where do you guys see the book? Like her stories.
Yeah, we definitely in 5 years want to see ourselves completed the entire series of 54 books, so that we have covered each and every country.
We also cover the Arab countries.
Absolutely.
Why is it so important for every country?
Because we feel like when we see Princess Halima, what we've noticed is it's also resonated a lot with the Arab countries, simply because of the name, because she's Muslim, right? So you find also that, there is a market in the Arab countries also to see not just a light-skinned version of themselves, but a dark-skinned version of a Muslim who's, having her adventures. So they're very much interested in the story. Yeah. So we figured, why not have her also travel to those countries and integrate it in the series? Yes, and we would love to eventually have actually a TV series.
Yeah.
Princess Halima on the big screen.
I want having a 4-year-old.
Yes.
What's his name again? Duck McStuffing.
That's right.
PJ Man.
Yes.
I look at all the Caillou.
Yes.
I look at all these stories. And you guys have so much to tell.
Absolutely.
That would be such a magical experience.
Yeah.
I just pray to witness that, to go
Thank
on movie
you.
premiere.
Thank
The
you.
series of the
Thank
Princess
you.
Halima.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
big deal.
And we also want to, take advantage of the boys' market because Princess Halima, the series is more, focused on the girls. So we are actually coming up with a boys series,
Awesome.
which will be launching this year. I don't want to give a date yet, because we just finished writing the series, so now we're working on the
Who is
illustration.
that inspired by?
It's actually inspired by my son
Oh,
Omar
amazing.
and my sister's son Omar. So the two
Two-
Omars.
oh, Lord
Yes.
have mercy.
Omar.
Oh, the two Omars.
Yes.
The two Omars.
They're just knuckleheads. They're always getting in trouble, and we were like, you know what? This is actually
That's what they are.
what we're looking for. So why not? We don't even have to look far.
And actually, there have been a demand
For the boys. Yeah.
Because they're saying this one, when you read them, you find that it's for both.
Yes.
But the title, so we say,
Yeah.
okay, we
Yeah.
cannot
So
change the title.
Exactly.
Yes,
And we do want to
African
focus
girl.
in on the girls.
Yeah.
We want Princess Halima really to focus on empowering young girls and seeing different images of themselves and, like just to be creative and see how far they can go and that the sky is the limit.
So you feel like when it comes to self-esteem, it affects the women, the girls more than the boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially I feel like being in the diaspora. Because what you find is also we are the minority here. This is not our country of origin. So Halima is not going to be in a class where there's 15 other Halimas or, like a Fatima. How many Halimas do you have in your school?
I'm the only one.
And Hadi Jane?
No.
Hadi Jane, yeah. And
Omar,
in your class, you're one of two black girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, three.
Three, exactly. So we want to make sure that even though while living in these countries that we've adopted as our second homes, we want the girls to still see images of themselves and feel beautiful. Because the standard, image they can see of beauty is not going to be them. So we have to create that for them because, as I said, this is our second home.
and we might even come up with other products. We're still thinking about including a doll.
Yeah.
Princess Halima doll.
Right.
There's only 3 African girls in my grade. It's me, Mena, and Ruth. So both of them are from Ethiopia, and then I'm from so many different places.
Somewhere in the back.
Like I'm from Gambia, from Guinea, I'm from Tanzania, I'm from
Rwanda, wow. It's a lot of combination, girl. You are true African. Anna, tell me, coming up with a book as powerful as this, what are some of the things that you wish you'd done differently?
Well, our first book, we definitely learned a lot. It took us 8 years to get to what we're holding right now.
Wow. So it's not like a rocket science.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely.
So
It was very capital heavy, capital intensive. It was very expensive, but we learned a lot. So by the time we got to the second book, we're now self-published. We're not going through the American Legacy who published our first book. Now we're self-published. So I feel like even though it took us a while, there were lessons learned and we made mistakes that now we know not to do again. And so it's easier for us moving forward with, especially now that we're planning to go to each and every African country. Yes, it's much easier for us. But it also, I feel like the premise has grown. Initially, we just wanted a book, just one book about our beautiful Princess Halima and to inspire other young brown, dark-skinned girls. And now it's turned into a life of its own. We're going to each and every African country and we do our research because we also want to make it very educational. At the back of each book, we actually have a fun facts page where you get to learn the official name of the country, the population, the background, and then we decided to pick a famous person in each country that we highlight. Yeah. So
for Tanzania, it's Mwalimu Nyerere,
yeah,
who was the first president of Tanzania.
The first president.
Yeah.
Oh my
Baba wa
God.
Taifa.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing. It's such a big deal. Just sitting down with you and your mother. It's like a generation.
Yes,
of
there's
smart-
3 generations right here.
3 generations of smart women, strong
you.
African, black women.
Thank you.
Talk to me. What are you most afraid of?
I feel like, one of my biggest fears is for my daughter to feel less than, because I'm not home. I'm raising her in a country where it's not my home. It's not my country of origin, and I don't want her to ever feel less than. I want her to know that she is enough as she is. She does not need to do anything with her physical appearance, and I want her to feel empowered in knowing that she's well educated about where she comes from. Because in school, they're going to teach her American history. It's my job to teach her Gambian history. It's my job to teach her Tanzanian history and African history in general. That we come from a rich history we have, when you go back in history, we have the Songhai Empire, we have the Mali Empire. We come from queens and kings, and we're royal. And yes, we've created languages. Yeah. So we want her to just be very confident in that, and walk around with chips on her shoulders, knowing that I am an African princess, and all power to me.
How about you, Mom? Having such a successful, book by your daughters, and you being part of it. What are you most afraid of?
What I'm most afraid of is to get lost in the process, because I see this is going to be big.
Amen.
So, and I don't want to get lost, with the trends, the influence from the world. Because what most of the people who bought the book were like, we are looking for something unique, and this is it. There's nothing like this. So we, as we grow and go forward, we should keep it unique. So that is where, especially when sometimes we,
Bump heads. Yeah, which is my favorite part. I love all the stories.
I'll make sure I put them on the ground.
Yeah.
So you are there as the queen, as the mother, to make sure everything is
And
down.
the financier, the ones that put my checkbook on.
No, we don't want that.
I like that. Keep talking. Keep talking about it. Keep talking. Just keep talking. Where's my checkbook again? Yes. That's how you get her.
That's right.
I didn't say that, girl. I'm just saying. Wow, it's so humbling. It's just an amazing, experience, and at the same time, just sitting here with you ladies just gives me so much hope that everything is possible. First of all, I want to ask you guys your outfits. Why do you guys have to dress up so beautiful? And what is the inspiration behind this outfit that you both are wearing?
Yeah,
And of course you.
what my mom and I have on is actually kanga dresses, and this is diras. They call them diras in Tanzania.
They're from Tanzania.
Yeah.
And it's two pieces,
Yeah.
a scarf.
Yeah.
So either you can tie it on your waist, or you can put it on your head like this. Because Tanzania is also, very Muslim country.
Yeah.
50% of the population are Muslim, and also the sun is hot, as
Yes.
Halima said.
Yes.
So you cover your head.
Yes.
So it's very traditional. So you can wear it anywhere. And when we have events like now, and it's also in the book, we did talk about it. And one of the as they were receiving Princess Halima, they were wearing this and they were dancing.
Yeah, and they do ashobi, so you get the same colors for the event, and all the women wear the same print. So it's just very, indicative of Tanzanian dressing.
Yes,
So
yes.
since we're promoting the Princess Halima Wilderness, exploring the wilderness of Tanzania, we thought it was appropriate to make sure we show up in, Tanzanian outfits. Of course, when we do the Gambia book, we show up in a Dagita Malan. Yes.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it. I love it.
And Queen, one of the queens will wear the bubu.
That's
The
right.
Gabu.
Yes,
The
yes.
Gabu.
So the queen actually in the Gambia story is Queen Yafatu. So she will have, the big gown. Yes, yes.
It is
That's
so
their
amazing.
sister.
Yeah,
So-
and that's my sister,
So
my
you
older
guys
sister.
have all the stories, and of course the fashion is also
Yes. Part of it.
Part of
Yes.
it, yeah.
I mean, you know
love
how
it.
it is in Africa.
I love it.
The clothing is very important.
Sure.
It's
And
very
Halima's
colorful.
dress?
Yeah, and Halima's
Yes.
dress.
And Halima's dress is very West African.
Oh,
It's like very shiny, and I like.
And also being a Muslim girl, so it also represents the culture.
Also, I kind of like it because it like makes me look like a mermaid.
with the flare.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Michelle, any last word, Miss Inspirational Speaker?
Just to like, you could also get the book on princesslima.com, and there's a coloring book too.
I have a coloring book too.
Yeah.
And also just to like all the African girls, not even just all Africans, just don't forget your heritage, because that's the most important part.
Well, that brings us to the end of our segment for today.
Thank you.
I'm Mrs. JANHA with the beautiful Anna Faye,
Thank you.
Princess Halima, and the Queen herself, Mama Mariam Faye.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for
so much
having
being
us.
on the show.
We
It's so
appreciate
humbling.
it.
Thank
Thank
you.